going to talk about one tip today on how you can prepare for an internet outage, such as what we had before last week. And so this may not occur very often, but if you're prepared, you can move on without losing a beat for your practice. And it's important, like you said, it's not just this system that could go down. It could be your internet system. It could be your phone system. It could be your electricity. Do you have plans in place, and do you have procedures in place when something like that happens? So right now I'm on the classic system, as you can see by the screen, and what I'm going to do is go to the setup. This is very similar to how you do it on Windows X, our new system, and it's done the same way. I'm going to go to the backup tab, and our backup system is done incrementally and it's done in sequence. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking at 4 steps here for our system to back up your data. And I'm going to look at number 1. This is where we create our backup files. And I'm going to uncheck all of these except for the next to the last check. And that's called future appointments. And so I have the choice to do this for any number of days. So when I see future appointments for 14 days, that could be 7 days, it could be 21 days or 30 days, depending on what you want to back up. But what this will do is put on our server a file that you can download to your site, to your personal computer, and you'll be able to access the next day's file. And then if you need to, plan further days of service. So if you have someone who comes in and wants to schedule an appointment, you'll have your next 2 weeks worth of appointments ready to go. So all I'm going to do is click to create the backup file, and you're going to see it goes in there and is searching through each one of the schedules that you have, and it will write out a file, and then it'll say complete. The next step is to access the FTP. We give you instructions on here on whether you're on Windows or on Mac. It tells you how to do that. And then the last thing the next to the last thing to do is copy the files, and then we're going to view the backup data. So I'm on a Macintosh computer, and I'm going to follow the instructions for the Mac. And it says from the Finder menu, you choose Go, connect to server. So I'm going to go to the Finder. So I'm going to go to the Go menu and click connect to server. I've got the FTP site already in there. I'm going to hit connect. The username is going to be A50001, and then I have copied the password. And then I'm going to hit connect. And we're going to see a list of the files in the system. So I'm just going to sort these by the date, and you're going to see that the schedule 47.dat is there. I'm just going to drag this to my desktop. You can put it anywhere that's secure for you on your computer. And then the last thing I'm going to do is change that DAT to an HTML. HTML. And then I can now view that schedule. I'm just going to double click it. A browser should open up, and you can see we've got all the data that's there. It gives me the date, and then it gives me the date and time. It tells me the patient number, the patient, and then what type of appointment they have. So you'd be able to go in here and have a list of your patients.
So why do you have a DAT file? What is a DAT file, and why is that on the server? In the first.
So the DAT file, we write it out into a DAT file because that's a secure file. So if you were to open up go to that particular folder on the internet and click that file, you would not be able to open a DAT file. If it's an HTML file on our server, then you would be able to open up that and people would be able to see your schedule. So as a security precaution, we keep that as a DAT file until you download it. And in the future, we're going to be putting out some scripts that you'll just push a button and it will automatically generate that this HTM for you, so you won't have to go in and do that.
But this gives you the ability to see your schedule for the next 2 weeks in an organized format, even though it's not the perfect format like we want in the system, but it's there and gives you all the information so you'll know who's coming in. But
Correct. You could print this out and have that on a piece of paper in front of you so that you would be able to access your schedule for the particular day it is.
so what we're stressing to our customers is, hey, make sure you get in there each night as part of your standard operating procedures and download this. This will take you, once you get the hang of this is going to take you less than 30 seconds to do each night. Just put it on your desktop and then it'll be there for you.
Correct.
Knowing that once you switch it over to an HTML or HTML file, that it's not going to be secured. So make sure that you have a password on your computer and that you lock your computer before you go home for the night. All right. So that's a great way so that you can see your files and be able to keep track of who's coming in as an emergency. This obviously isn't as good as our interface, and especially the new Windows X. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, make sure you get a hold of us and let us know. The other thing to look forward to as part of our ChiroPractice Pro team is that you'll be getting a call this week from one of our pros, and our pros are our customer service representatives. So that way you always have someone to be in contact with in case you have an issue. So they're going to be calling you at your offices. What else you got for us, Pete? Anything?
No, I just want to reiterate that if you have any enhancements, something else that you want to see in the program, if you have an idea for how we can do something better, just let us know. We always like those suggestions, and we need your input to make this the best software program out there.
And make sure, go back to the program, Pete. I think you got it under Windows X right now, but just show us where people can go and submit a request that works better than emailing or calling one of us. What works the best?
To the help button, which is the little question mark in the circle, and then you click new request. If you're on the old system, which let me go to the old system real quick, to the classic system. To get to your support, you're just going to click the life preserver up here on the right hand corner, and then you can click support request or an enhancement, and you can put that in there and then click the send button and we'll get that.
And in Windows X, I know that you can track along and see what's been done with your request. So that's all tracked in the new Windows X. So if you need to get over there and check that out, do that so you can see where you're at and what your requests look like and if they've been, on what process they're in. So, and this is going to work a lot better than trying to reach out by email, because then, like we said, it is tracked and logged, and we will respond to this very quickly.